Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another week of the URL Sunday Championship. I'm Frowny, and this week we are at Maggiore, or Lake Maggiore, Maggiore. I don't know how people say it, but I always just call it Maggiore. Another fictional track, just for GT7 of Maggiore, or Lake Maggiore is a real thing, but this track's obviously fictional. So we'll have no names. Everyone knows Big Banky that's down the end. But yeah, so here we are again this week. So we're round 4, race 1, and as you can see from the screen, Mr. Gower is there again, put himself up towards the sharp end of the grid, and is qualified there on first. I will quickly go through the league table because they are very close. Paulie's doing really well. So Paulie's actually in first position in the league. Currently got an 8-point lead over Gower, who's in second. Then you've got Method there in third. That's Life is in fourth. He's actually just 1 point between him and Method. So That's Life 78 and Method there's in 79. Also joining these on 78 is in fifth is Dan. So very, very close between them three. So we'll have to see how that pans out. As we get going, you've got Brownie in 6th, Hoggy in 7th, Nando is in 8th, Cal there is in 9th, Slowpoke 10th, Viking 11th, Niggle in 12th, Brian Mechanic 13th, Rossi's currently in 14th, and then Declan's there in 15th at the back. So very close, really. Top 2, Paulie and Gower. And then you've got Method, That's Life, Dan, all within 1 point of each other. And then the next kind of group behind then, Brownie, Hoggy, Nando, they're all close also. So yeah, let's go through the grid and see how we set up. So yeah, see Gower's there, pole position. That's Life's closely followed, doing him in second. He'll be looking to, he had a very good race 2 last week. Just a couple of an incident there in race 1. That's maybe cost him a couple of points. Paulie, our championship leader, qualified in 3rd. He'll be looking to just keep plugging on. He's doing really well. Dan in 4th, Hoggy in 5th, Sai in 6th, Method there in 7th, Rossi in 8th, Brownie 9th, and Kenny D. I believe Kenny is new to. He's new to this league. I think he's raced with URL before, but I think this is his first showing in this Pro-Am 1 league. So we'll keep an eye on him and see how well he does. As we've seen, it's a bit tricky, this car, so it takes a bit of getting used to. So we'll see how he goes. So let's get on the way. I don't need to listen to me talking anymore. I want to see the racing. This should throw up some good overtakes. It's a good racing track. You can go side by side near enough most of this, other than the S's. As we head down here to turn 1, Hoggy stepping out already, looking to the inside of Dan. Takes a massive chunk of that inside curb. Hoggy there, side on the push. I think side got slightly wide, hit the grass, but no, Method's managed to pull right up behind him. Even though these are on the softs, it does take a minute just to get the tyres warm. You can probably see as well, we're missing Slowpoke and Niggle. They're both missing this week. Hopefully we'll see them back in next week. You see Paulie coming up after the I'm just trying to see if he's close enough to that Life. No, not quite close enough. Come round these S's as they go up the hill. Really important part of the track. Boys, see Brownie now. He's got a good run on the back of Rossi. Rossi's just parked his car slightly in the middle. Is Brownie going to look for it? Bit of a lag there from Si. Right, Brownie not quite close enough. Oh, big chunk of grass coming off the big banky. See, Rossi was slow there as also. Brownie almost had to hold his line. As these two are battling, you can see Kenny D there right behind Brownie again to the inside. Is he going to get it done this time round? He does. Coming up to the double right-hander. Up to the end of lap 1. So Brownie's made a move. He'll be looking, don't think Method's too far in front. As you can see there, Kenny D's also onto the back of Rossi. I think Rossi battling with Brownie early on. So obviously made a gap, left Kenny D there. Rossi's thinking about it. Takes up the slip all the way down the start-finish line. Inside of the corner for Rossi. Great overtake. But Brownie's not giving it up. He's tried to cut back on the inside. Brownie's gone a little bit. Yeah, he got a little bit tail happy coming out of that corner. It's given Rossi the opportunity just to hold his position. Oh, bit of a shunt there from Brownie into the side of Rossi. So it's Brownie's, fair play to him. I think he's let up, hasn't he? Let's just see. Oh, a bit too far back. Apologies. We'll watch it from here. Let's maybe go on this board with Brownie. So he got a good switch back in, just stepped out on him on the acceleration out of that corner. Yeah, just wasn't quite in the position to gain the inside line there and hit into the side of Rossi. Obviously Kenny then hit into the side of Brownie. So unlucky there for Brownie. Oh, careful that grass as well on the outside of there. Both Kenny D and Brownie took that really wide line. That's cost both of these now. It's given Rossi a bit of a breather. Let's go back up and see what's going on. We've got this group of people here. So Paulie's dropped. So Dan's got past Paulie. Okay, how far back? That's the end of lap 1. Sorry about that. I will watch it again because it's important. It's the top end of the table. In the front of this race, you can see Gower's gapped all of these as he does normally. Paulie's slightly wide, but Dan's got the momentum to go up the inside into turn 1. Well done. Paulie's still got the inside line. No, not quite close enough on the switch back to the hairpin. There's a couple of different lines into that hairpin you can take. Some people like to go wide and then in. Me personally, I like to keep it quite narrow and tuck it in at the last minute across the yellow curbing. But that has put Dan up into 3rd position. Paulie there into 4th. Dan slightly missing the apex there. Paulie's got a brilliant run out of that corner. Just nowhere quite to go. These two can't mess about too much. They've got Hoggy and Si very close behind. So we're only lap 2 of 13. So there's a lot to play for yet. But don't need to do anything too rash. But Paulie is all over the bumper of Dan there. Paulie got a great line through the S's. Gained that inside line straight away. Dan had nowhere to try and defend. Two still side by side. As I said, this track does promote good racing. There's plenty of space and different lines that you can take. But Dan took narrow. Paul with a switch back. He's going to have the speed now to take the inside line again. Yeah. Just into the braking. Oh no, Dan just held on to that. But these two fighting, like I said, Hoggy and Si are right with them now. Paulie's slightly wide. It's going to cost him a little bit down into this final corner. He's got to be careful he doesn't lose another spot trying to put the pressure onto Dan too much. This track's terrible. Everyone lags on that little kink at the bottom as we just see Rossi in the background going flying off. Brownie and Kenny D there are going to capitalise on that. But we'll just keep an eye on these. We'll go back. Yeah, Kenny D's there. These three are battling, aren't they? At it. All together, let's go back. We'll watch that first corner. So Rossi just goes slightly wide. So then, as he comes back on, is this where Kenny and Brownie go for the move? So Kenny definitely goes to the inside of Rossi. Rossi's going to have dirty tyres as well, so it's not going to have much grip. He goes well wide again. They said not much grip at all, and after coming off the grass, that has put Kenny up into 8th, Rossi 9th, Brownie 10th. So 2 positions made there for Kenny. As these 2 continue to fight, these 3, sorry, continue to fight. Kenny Scarpy a little bit. Let's get back to our bottle up here. So Method there, comfortably in 7th, just off this front pack. I think again, if they any more squabbling, Method's going to be in the mix very soon. Let's go through. I think Paulie just pulled a gap tight between Hoggy and Sai on the chase down for Dan, but Dan's catching up with That's Life. Don't think he's had a penalty or anything, but he is on a slower lap. He's just see his split time come up there, 0.7 down off of his fastest lap, which is definitely allowed Dan to gain some space up to him. Gower's just slightly up the road. He's not out of view from these boys yet. So, although Gower's, you see it every single week so far, he just wants to get out in front and do his laps. Fractions off of what That's Life's fastest lap is. I'm sure that's going to change at some point in this race. But he's not a million miles away from everyone, but he's got a big enough space that he's not under too much pressure, just needs to crack on with his racing line. So again, back to this little group here. That's Life's created a gap to Dan. In the meantime, Paulie's closed the gap to Dan. And with Paulie is also coming Hoggy and Sai. Method's not a million miles away. Dan's slightly narrow that time. Paulie with great exit, a little bit of a twitch, nothing that he couldn't handle. So watch these Hoggy there. So Method there into 7th. We can watch Sai because he's got a brilliant run on Hoggy now. Is he going to go for the move? He's pulled to the inside. He's filled Hoggy's mirrors up with the big old Valhalla red Lambo. Not quite close enough to make a move. Up over the hill, down towards the S's now. Dan is into 2nd. Where's That's Life? Oh, let's go back. So apologise, I didn't see that. So was it from here? Yes, yeah. So That's Life is doing fine. Oh, big old switch on the back end coming out of that corner at the bottom of the hill up on towards the S's. So that gave Dan and Paulie the opportunity then to carry their momentum. I did say all it's going to take is one little mistake from someone, and you're going to be have a couple of Lambos going past you. As you see there, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th all together. Method in 7th, just behind this group. So let's see how they get on. So Paulie's into 3rd. So he'll still be on the attack onto Dan, which I think they've got the pace. Just see Hoggy giving That's Life a little bit of a nudge, coming out slow out of the big banky corner. So that's giving That's Life a nudge, but put Hoggy backwards again towards Sai, who's still all over the back of him. Brilliant racing from this group so far, though. Really good, bumper to bumper. No stupid moves being made. You know, very, very good racing. That's what we like to see. I think Hoggy bounced that off the rev limit then, but obviously it worked for him. He's got a great run down there. That's Life's got the run on Paulie, or got the slipstream from Paulie that's going to help him defend against Hoggy, who had a really good run off of that last corner. Down through the 1st corner into the 2nd corner of the hairpin. So Dan split a little bit. He's made a little banana split and he's off. Just gained maybe half a second on Paulie there in 2nd, 6-7 tenths maybe. Let's see what he can do. You can see Gower now, he's just come down to this corner and on the exit. Sorry, just watching these go up there and just seeing That's Life and Hoggy again. Still battling. back three are all spread out now. I think after they've had the first couple of laps bumper to bumper between them. Kenny D there in 8th. We've got Brownie there in 9th, Rossi in 10th. So really our battle's up here. Maybe 2nd to 6th, maybe 2nd to 7th if anything else happened. You see a couple of things switching. Oh, who's gone? Dan's gone. Let's go back. Let's see what's happened. I see someone switch round, so we'll go with Dan. Has he just got too much of the curb on the inside? Yeah, right across the grass. You can take a lot of that inside curbing, but unfortunately for Dan, he took just a bit too much, and he's spatting round up onto the grass with no grip. Everyone's passed. Kennedy's passed, so Dan, he's got front bumper damage. You might be okay from Brownie, but gutting for Dan. It's from 2nd down to 8th. So he's going to have a bit of work to do now. But to his favour, that is now promoted Paulie up into 2nd position. So it started, what did he start? 3rd, I believe, then switched to 4th. And then he's, That's Life's had a moment, he's gone. That's given him 3rd. And then now Dan, he's also, pressure has got to him. And that has put Paulie into a good 2nd position. Just watch that curve there, Paulie. You see Cy and Hoggy still got at it. Hoggy defending really well from Cy. I think this whole first 6 laps, these two have been a bumper to bumper. Cy slightly laggy. I don't think it's too much. It's obviously not putting Hoggy off. He's close to him, but obviously not putting him off enough to make any mistakes. So Hoggy's soaking all the pressure from that Valhalla Lambo, as I said, right up behind him. Side pulls to the outside, but really for optimum pace through here, it is single file. You don't really want to be side by side. You're going to lose so much time to the cars in front. Cy across the grass, well held though from Cy. That's really well held the car. If you get too much of the grass on that second part of the turning, it can do that, and it can just spin the car off. So he done quite well to save that. That's given Hoggy a little bit of a breather. Cy again gone slightly wide. He's dropping back. 2 mistakes on this lap for Cy. It's going to push him back now towards Method. He can clearly have a good bit of slipstream now that he's in there. So see if Cy can help Method and pull him back towards Hoggy. That's Life there in 2nd, in 4th and 3rd. In the meantime, there he is. Let's just flick to him, or has he just run slightly wide? Our current fastest lap holder. Go, split it again. 55.7. Gower out in front. Really good lap time, that is. 55.7. Really, really good. Most people will be on about the 56s. So yeah, brilliant lap times from Gower. Paulie there, he just set his personal best lap as well. Good clean lap. It's amazing once you got a bit of sight in front of you and you can see your corners and your braking points. It's amazing the difference when you're battling. Sometimes you get so wrapped up in the battle that next thing you know, you've done sort of 4 or 5 laps and you've been losing a second and a half every lap. It's so easily done. So when you do get that bit of clear air, it's lovely just to get back to the lines you've been practicing, if you practice, and your braking positions. So all slightly, this group were together, but as you see, Paulie's created a lovely little gap for himself. He can just full on concentrate now. That's Life. He has Hoggy close behind him. They're in 4th position. I think Hoggy does really well out of Big Banky. He definitely gains every single lap. This is where he was breaking away from Cy as well. So he's got that corner down to a T. Cy on the charge back. As you can see, he's pushing that Lambo to the grip limits up the hill, pushing as fast as he can. At the minute, he's on his personal best lap as well. I'm sure he'll be spitting Viking blood out from underneath that helmet, where he's them two mistakes have cost him a little bit. I see Method was obviously got quite close behind him, but couldn't quite capitalise on it. Sire has regrouped himself. Let's see what he's done here, 56.4, so it's his quickest lap so far this race as well. Let's go back to where we were. So Kenny D's in 7th. Danny's there in 8th, I think, and then we've got Brownie and Rossi back to 9th and 10th. So I think slow lap for Brownie there, 59.8. Rossi done a 57.3. So Rossi's got the pace on Brownie at the minute. He's caught back up to behind him. Brownie there's gone slightly wide. He has well wide. I think he's gone over the red and white, so there might be a penalty there. He's gone right up to the red. Sometimes it can give you I know you can go fairly wide off that corner. No, he's been lucky, so that's given Rossi the opportunity, free overtake. So Rossi can now just concentrate, carry on with his 57 lap times, get his consistency where he's at. And a good night position there for Rossi. Let's go back up. I think they're all fairly paced with each other at the minute. I think it's one of them. It's as we see, as soon as you start battling, everyone sort of groups together. So now everyone's gained that sort of second space. No one's really in the slipstream to make a move. Sai is, I think, the one out of this group on the move who's got a bit more pace than the two in front of him. It's so marginal though. That gap. It took 2 corners to lose, and it will take him 5 laps to gain back again. That's how close these are with their lap times. And Paulie there again doing really well, 56.4. Gower's on. So Gower's on 56.2s. Excuse me. Yeah, Paulie's there, 56.4. 56.4 for That's Life. 56.5 for Hoggy, although he is a lot closer this lap. 56.3 for Sai. So yeah, Sai's on the move, but as I said, only just. As I say that, he had a big power slide coming out the corner at the top of the hill, down to this big sweeping corner. Also, people underestimate this corner. It's extremely tricky, but 2, it's extremely important because the exit from that corner gives you the momentum for this corner through the S's, and then all the way up and over the top of the hill, all the way down to Big Banky. So that corner at the bottom there, as you see Hoggy again taking the same line that Sai did, but he done quite well. Didn't lose too much momentum there, and he's still right up on the back of That's Life. So you see these two, nearly 3 have come back together again. But yeah, it's a mega important corner. So difficult to get right. And as we see, these 3 just gaining back again. Oh, what's happened? Oh, yeah. Sorry, I switched then. It looked like That's Life had gone flying off the track, but no. He must have been just a wider line, it looked from that camera angle. And as we see here, so Hoggy again. Hoggy's got a really nice corner on that last corner. The same with Big Banky. You see the gap that he's made up there onto the back of That's Life through that section alone. You see Sai now. Sai sniffing all over the back of these 2. That's Life keeping it nice and defensive on the inside. Oh, Hoggy and Sai slightly just going for a bit more grass than what That's Life did. Sai's going to want to get on it this time. He sat behind Hoggy for 6-7 laps, trying his best to get up past him, and Hoggy's doing really well defensive driving. But if these 2 come together, that's going to give That's Life the opportunity to pull away again. So it depends. If Sai thinks he's got the speed, a little bit of a lag spike there. If Sai thinks he's got the speed to catch up with That's Life, he's got to try and get past Hoggy sooner rather than later. In the meantime, Hoggy also, if he wants to have any opportunity of getting onto the podium, he's going to have to defend and attack at the same time, but try not lose too much time to that's life. I know we'll watch Hoggy because, again, I think this is a corner that he seems to do very well at. Brakes, tucks it in. That's slightly just on the outside of the red and white curbing. But again, good exit, takes it narrower compared to what That's Life does. There's a couple of different lines through that set of corners as well that people can take. Depends on how you'd like to go through. I tend to take the first left-hander quite narrow, which opens up the right-hand corner. But again, so That's Life just gaps a fraction onto Hoggy coming up to this section. There's a much nicer line there out from That's Life. So he's kept his distance of Hoggy there. Sai, Method in 6th. So Dan on his way through, he has got past. I think Kenny D must have had a moment because by the look of it, yeah, he's in last position. So 2:19 his lap time. He got down. He's down in the 56s. So he's definitely lurling the car as he's going. Or maybe just pushed it a bit too hard on the following lap. So Kenny D's there in 10th, Brownie in 9th, Rossi there in 8th. He's cleared the air. Dan in 7th. Again, I think with the lap times and how close everybody is, I don't think he's going to be close enough to this group here in Method, especially in the last couple of laps that we've got in this race. Tyres seem to be doing fine for everyone. Soft tyres, it's on a fairly low setting. I know the Lambo does eat them. Well, it depends how you drive it, but it doesn't mind the tyres. But yeah, plenty of life on them. You see Sai again right up the inside. Is he going to make the move? I think Hoggy's so late on the brakes into this corner that Sai just can't outbrake him. Got a very good run, but yeah, I think Hoggy's very late on the brakes into Big Banky. Hence why he's got the speed on the exit as well. Yes, Sai just can't, even if he's up alongside him, he can't quite get into the braking zone and take the inside of the corner. Good set of right-handers there though from Sai, keeping the pressure onto Hoggy. I said he's got 2 laps left now, lads. All extremely close together. Hoggy's making a little look. I don't think he's close enough. I think he's just trying to dummy. He's put That's Life extremely narrow now as he gets the switch back. I think because you've got the 90-degree on the outside. Oh, Sai's trying it around the outside. Not quite enough room there, mate. Good thinking though. Hoggy went for the inside with That's Life. Had to obviously take a slower line because of That's Life's exit off of turn 1. Big switch, I think, from Sai again. Method there comfortably in 6th. That's what Method seems to do, just gets into his rhythm. And in this race, definitely spent a lot of time just on his lonesome, watching all these battles in front. Never quite close enough to make action of anything. Again, you see again that section through there. That's Life does really, really well. It pulls a gap mainly from the start of the downhill all the way through to this point, and then this point is definitely where Hoggy seems to excel at and gain that gap back. You see again, Hoggy's probably had enough of seeing that red car in his wing mirrors, isn't he? He's thinking, bloody hell, what the hell have I got to do to get rid of you? Just sticking to the back of him like shit to a blanket at the minute. And these two definitely both will want the podium. Sai's pushing. Look, he's pushing it as hard as he can. He's trying to get a good run. That's what it's going to take. I think a one-off, all-out 100% brilliant corner exit and a run for any one of these three to make a move, or two to make a move into third position. See there, Dan is slowly catching Method, possibly not quite close enough for this lap though, because again, see these three cars side with a big twitch. So that's Life third, Hoggy fourth, Cy fifth. See Gower and Paulie off down the road. I think Paulie, by the look of it, is catching Gower. Well, I think Gower's probably got plenty in the tank. He's just calmed it down a little bit and just taking his driving lines, not putting anything too much of a risk. He's got fastest lap, he's got pole for qualifying. He's looking like he's going to have race victory as we're still watching these. So yeah, that's Life. Yeah, so I think this is where That's Life does really well. And then it's coming up to this part of the track where I think Hoggy, oh, That's Life a little bit wide. That's going to entice Hoggy. He's gaining. That's Life's gone defensive straight away. Big middle of the track. Hoggy's not going to worry about that, because if he can get the run that he usually does, a big switch back on it, or not quite close enough, That's Life done brilliantly there. I think just to put Hoggy off, took the inside line, and Hoggy couldn't quite get the switch back on him. I will have to come back to this as we see Gower is coming up round to these last couple of sections. If there's any overtakes, I will go back and have a look. But for the moment, we'll be watching that Gower comes around the final corner to take the race one victory. Congratulations there to Gower. Paulie in second. So top two in the table there, first and second. As you see, That's Life and Hoggy side by side out of the last corner. Who's going to take it? Oh, well done. That's Life, Hoggy, Cy. Third, fourth, fifth. Method there in sixth. Dan in seventh. Whilst we've got a chance, I'm going to go back because I'd like to see what happens. Is that too far? Like, as you see, that great run there of Hoggy onto the final corners. Yeah, so close. So close. Well done to That's Life for keeping hold of that. As we watch these two, like I said, Dan in seventh, a bit gutted. He should have been up there battling with that group. If it weren't for a little off that he had. Maybe just pushing too hard to try and bridge the gap. So Rossi there in eighth. Brownie in ninth. And Kenny D in 10th. Well done to all you boys. Well, that was a real good race. Definitely lots going on. Not so much as overtakes as such, but when you're battling, it's nice sometimes just to see a group of cars all on the same pace. 3 or 4 car lengths between each of them. Pressure's on everybody. Pressure to overtake and defend at the same time. That's that's a fantastic part of racing. It's not always just about the overtake. That side of things can't sometimes get overlooked on the pressures. Obviously, Hoggy's had pressure from Cy the whole race. Cy's had pressure trying to push on Hoggy to make sure he's got the good positions, how to overtake him, where can I overtake him. Hoggy was really good into a couple of corners. That's Life done really well. He then had to defend. All of that adds to a real good race. So I'm sure these lot will be happy with their results, especially Paulie and Gower, who again takes another race one win. And hopefully, fingers crossed, touch wood, he can replay that in race 2 and start from the back and work his way through. Thanks very much for watching, and hopefully you'll join me back for race 2. Take care.